because the best thing that I can think of, and the thing that people want to do, is walk to their jobs where they're going to be miserable. Hopefully you enjoy your career, hopefully you enjoy your work, but maybe be miserable for 8 days or 8 hours of the day. Let's walk there. Let's make it worse. Welcome to another episode of the Fitness Hippie Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Mark Torres, and it has been a long time since I've recorded one of these podcast episodes. The last episode that was supposed to come out was on a week where this little thing called Thanksgiving was happening, so I skipped it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving break or just single day. Spent time with friends, family, ate some good food, all that fun stuff. And then I also did this other little thing called the MTE Fit Push-Up Program. It is my first ever fully online, fully customizable, go at your own pace workout program that I have released. If you have always wanted to get your first push-up or just be really good at push-ups, this is a great program for you. Like I said, it's go at your own pace, fully customizable, 3 exercises per day, 3 days per week. I figured with my first exercise program, I might as well do it based off of one of probably the first exercises ever created, because they did not need any equipment, the push-up. So it's only $25. Seems like a pretty good deal to get your first push-up or to get really good at push-ups. So if that's something that interests you, head over to mtefit.com, check it out there, or just hit the links in the description down below, wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast. Today's episode, we are going to try and figure out how many days per week is the best if you want to make fitness progress. So recently, Newsweek released an article about this very topic, and at some point in the life of this podcast, somebody said, hey man, your podcast is great, I learned a lot, but maybe don't read directly on your podcast. I think this is back when I was doing the history of different exercise equipments, and I was reading off the Wikipedia page, and I don't know if that means I have a monotone reading voice. I have a kind of a monotone voice in general. I don't know if I'm a boring reader. I don't know what it is, but I have 7 fucking listeners of this podcast anyway, so it doesn't seem like there's any harm or foul about continuing to read. It doesn't do me any good. It doesn't do me any injustices. So I'm going to read this Newsweek article. It's kind of a long article, so I'll try to skip through it pretty good. Make this a quickie episode, but let's see if we can figure out how many days per week it is good to work out. So this is the article title is How Many Days a Week Do I Need to Work Out to Notice a Difference? This was released on 11/27/21, so a couple of days after Thanksgiving. Some people spend hours at the gym several times a week, while others barely have the time and energy to fit in one session. But both types of gym goers can equally be frustrated by not seeing results. So what's the ultimate sweet spot when it comes to how often a person should work out? The answer to that depends on different factors, such as the physical activity you choose to do. Physical activity is defined as any bodily movement, blah, 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 blah. Exercise is planned, structured, repetitive form of physical exercise. Although all exercise is physical activity, not all physical activity is exercise. Of course, some physical activity is better than none, but regular to moderate, vigorous physical activity reduces the risk of many adverse health outcomes. How many days a week do I need to work out? How often a person should work out will depend on the fitness level of the individual as well as their fitness goals, from losing weight to building muscle. It's good to aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate physical activity every single day, according to Mayo Clinic's Dr. Edward Leskowski, who is certified by the American Board of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, and is a fellow member of the American College of Sports Medicine. For those who don't have the time, even brief bouts of activity offers health benefits. So you can swap a 30-minute walk during the day with several 5-minute walks instead, he says. However, if you want to lose weight, maintain weight loss, or meet specific fitness goals, you may need to exercise more. This other guy, Greg Hartley, a consultant to the Sports and Fitness Industry Association and an IFBB pro with an extensive background in sports and fitness, advised that to make significant changes, you should spend at least 3 days in the gym in a structured workout. Be sure to learn how to do the exercise in a correct manner and focus on doing them correctly. It is disheartening seeing the number of people working out with incorrect form who achieve no gains and, in the worst case, injure themselves, which is an interesting thing that we'll talk about here at the end. For 3 other days during the week, you should do some type of unstructured activity. So this guy's saying 3 days of structured activity, 3 days of unstructured activity. So he's really saying work out 6 days a week. Well, now, actually, By the definition of this article, he's saying to move 6 days a week, but maybe not exercise 6 days a week, because exercise is planned physical activity. Whatever. He said this could mean going for a run, taking the stairs rather than an elevator up the building, walking to work, anything to get your heart rate elevated for around 20 to 30 minutes. Because the best thing that I can think of, and the thing that people will want to do, is walk to their jobs where they're going to be miserable. Hopefully you enjoy your career, hopefully you enjoy your work, but maybe be miserable for 8 days or 8 hours of the day. Let's walk there. Let's make it worse. Give your body a rest on one day of the week to relax and enjoy the progress you made during the week, but be careful not to binge eat or drink on your rest day, Hartley warns. More on diet later below. So 6 days a week, 3 days of planned exercise, three days of unstructured activity, and on the seventh day, as they do in the Bible, you rest and you enjoy the progress and the work that you've done throughout the week in order for you to see results, right? But don't binge. Don't eat too much. Don't drink too much. That could get you in trouble, says this guy. Consistency is also key for seeing results. Being consistent in the workout for a week and then take a week off, you can't expect to show any gains. Consistency is the basis all improvements are driven by. Great statement. What's a healthy amount of physical activity? One of the main types of physical activity is aerobic activity, which means the body's larger muscles moving in a rhythmic manner for a sustained period of time. Running, jogging, walking, whatever. Ideally, your aerobic activity should be spread out across the week. So don't do it all in one day. Aerobic activity level is determined by 3 components. They include intensity, how hard you do the activity, frequency, how often you do the activity, and duration, how long you do the activity. Although these components make up aerobic physical activity profile, research has shown that the total amount of physical activity is more important for achieving health benefits than any other components such as frequency, intensity, or duration. So how many minutes of moderate intensity physical activity in a week is more important than the other 3 factors. Some health benefits can begin with as little as 1 hour of physical activity per week. However, substantial health benefits for adults occur with a weekly total of 150 to 300 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity. This all sounds like things that we kind of learned throughout college. And if you've listened to this podcast with any sort of regularity, you know how I feel about the things that I learned in college about fitness. According to research, a weekly minimum total of at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity consistently reduces the risk of many chronic diseases and other adverse health outcomes. So 150 minutes, if you break that down into 30-minute bouts, because maybe some of you guys are going to the gym and spending 60 minutes on a treadmill, but I would assume that most of you are not. Maybe 30 minutes, that's 5 days a week. 30 times 5, 150, quick maths for you. Adults who do muscle strengthening activities of moderate or greater intensity that involve all major muscle groups on 2 or more days will reap additional health benefits. So there's a big emphasis in this article on the cardio aspect of fitness, but maybe not as big on the weightlifting aspect of fitness. They want you to be in a cardio heavy workout program for 150 minutes a week, but if you can weightlift twice a week, then you'll have even more benefits. How long should my workout be? When it comes to exercise, you shouldn't need to work out for more than about an hour. Workout sessions can vary in length, but if you are in the gym for more than an hour, you are messing about or talking too much. Shut your damn mouth, he says. Plan your workout and get it done. Adding, you should leave your phone in the locker or gym bag to help focus on the workout. Yeah, because people don't like to listen to music when they work out. Great idea. Harley also advises working out at the same designated time during the day. Trying to spread a workout over 3 or 4 shorter periods during the day does not give your body the challenge it needs. You should also step it up a level if you do not feel tired or challenged by your current workout. Harley explains you should feel soreness in a muscle group on the second day after you work it. This would mean if you exercise your legs on Monday, you should feel tight or sore on Wednesday. If you don't, you didn't push your body hard enough. For most health outcomes, additional benefits occur as the amount of physical activity increases through higher intensity, greater frequency, and or longer duration. How long before I see significant results, which is a question that I get pretty often. If you develop a competent training and diet program and are consistent about following it, you should see significant results in 3 to 6 months. You didn't get 20 pounds overweight or lose muscle strength in a few weeks, and you won't be magazine cover ready in a few weeks either, but you will get there if you are consistent. Now the diet part. Proper nutrition and working out go hand in hand. Your diet is the most critical aspect of a workout program to lose weight and to gain muscle. The single largest fallacy in working out is to lose weight. The single largest fallacy in working out to lose weight is getting on a fad diet that promises miracle results. The bottom line is to lose weight, you have to burn more calories on a daily basis than you eat. Simple as that. This consultant also warns that you must not work out with only one meal per day. Our bodies were not designed to work that way, he says, noting that every extra pound of weight on your body adds 5 pounds of pressure to your knees. Wow, so okay. So every extra pound of weight on your body adds 5 pounds of pressure to your knees. I don't know if that's like just in general. So if somebody weighs 200 pounds, if that's 1,000 pounds of pressure on your knees, or that's like starts at a given point. Like if you're supposed to be 150 pounds and you weigh 200 pounds, that's 50 times 5, whatever, 250. I don't know what he's trying to say there. Maintaining your diet and your weight is critical for a healthier lifestyle. It makes no sense to maintain your diet for the week and then binge on your day off or your vacation. So this guy, he wants you to be really good throughout the week, and then on your off day, be really good, and then on your vacation, be really good. He strongly recommends seeing a nutritionist or consulting with a well-qualified personal trainer to help set a diet that meets your workout goals. So, I don't know if you guys can sense the level of sarcasm that kind of flows through my voice, but this is like kind of the biggest red flag so far, and I don't want it to go unnoticed. So this guy, I'm not going to scroll up and find it. This might be the IFBB Pro. So he says, he talks about nutrition, which is fine. He doesn't make any specific claims. And then he says he strongly recommends seeing a nutritionist. That's fine. Or consulting with a well-qualified personal trainer to help set a diet. That's a big fucking no-no. Personal trainers are not dietitians. We're not registered dietitians. Registered dietitians, he says nutritionist. I guess, that can just be a mix-up of words. A registered dietitian is the only person that has gone to school for a long enough time in order to really talk to you about specifics about your diet. Otherwise, everybody else's opinion doesn't matter. They can give you these general guidelines. I think general guidelines are fine. Calorie deficits, eat lots of protein, all those things are great. All those things are things that a personal trainer can tell you. But if you're seeking out a personal trainer, a well-qualified personal trainer, whatever that means, to help set a diet that meets your workout goals, that is a big fucking red flag. Personal trainers should not be giving you specific dietary advice. So, flow of sarcasm throughout my reading up to this point, that's a point where I've got to stop and say, this is something that you guys should be on the lookout for. A personal trainer, no matter how qualified they are, unless they are also a registered dietitian, should not be telling you specifics on what to eat. And then this is the last part of it. So we're almost done. Before starting a workout program, Hartley says you should consult with your doctor or a qualified medical professional to ensure you're capable of sustaining a fitness program. This is especially important if you have never done a fitness program or worked out in a gym. In either case, having an initial consultation with a qualified personal trainer, they can evaluate your physical condition, understand your goals, and help you set a workout program you can maintain and grow with. If costs are keeping you from embarking on a fitness journey, Hartley suggests seeking assistance via programs similar to FIT, P-H-I-T, which is working its way through U.S. Congress and will underwrite the cost of many sports and fitness programs. You should also check the terms of your health insurance provider. Mine pays for my gym membership. All right. So that's the entirety of the article. So kind of what I gather from this article, if we were to sum it up, a lot of the things are, this is very cardio based, right? This is not even talking about lifting weights or whatever, but this is like, you should do cardio for maybe 150 to 300 minutes per week. That is moderate to vigorously intense cardio. Man, I buffered there for a second. A week of cardio in order to see potential gains in your health. And I think this is probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see in all of fitness is people trying to find out these different specific guidelines, right? I would say 85 to 90% of all the questions that I ever get in a gym are very specific, like how many minutes should I spend on the treadmill? How much protein should I be consuming? How much weight should I be lifting? How many sets should I do? How many reps should I do? How many days per week do I need to work out? All these questions are very specific answers that these people are looking for. And I think that that's probably the biggest downfall in all of fitness, because everything in fitness is relative, right? My fiance is a fantastic cook, right? every single time she makes food, not every single time she makes food, that's a lie, but whenever she's making food, every once in a while, I will go in there and I'll ask her different questions about her cooking because I'm useless in a kitchen, right? And pretty much the gist of what I get is that whenever you cook to taste, right? There's not really a recipe. I mean, there are recipes, cooking recipes, obviously, but when you're cooking yourself, you're cooking to taste. You're not necessarily using a recipe. When you bake, you use a recipe because if you put too much or too little of something specific, your cookies could come out looking like dilapidated mush, and obviously you don't want to do that. So, but when you're cooking food, when you're cooking savory items, you're cooking to taste. So whenever you're making a chicken, you season your chicken to the taste that you like. Whenever you're making any sort of food and it's something that you can taste along the process because you're not tasting raw chicken, you season it to your taste. You try it. If you don't like it, you season it more or you do something else to it, right? So everybody is a little bit different. You cook to your taste, right? For example, there are a lot of people that I know that are maybe a little bit on the lighter complexion side who do not use a lot of seasoning in their food, and that's how they've grown up. That's what they're accustomed to eating, and that's great for them. But if I were to eat probably the same thing, I might think that it's bland because I grew up in a very specific Hispanic household where seasoning goes on everything, right? And, we're very used to these very seasoned things, right? So if I eat something that's bland, it might not taste as good to me as it is to somebody who's used to eating that thing with that amount of seasoning. You're cooking to taste. You're cooking to your specific liking, right? And we should do the same thing with fitness. You should make your fitness program to taste. That's not really a thing, but you should make your fitness program work to you. Everything is relative. So when this article says you should be shooting for 150 minutes to 300 minutes of moderate to intense cardio per week, that's going to be different depending on your starting point, right? Matt Frazier, 5-time world CrossFit champion, is going to need a very much different and very higher amount of cardio in order for him to continue to process or progress through his fitness journey than Joe Schmo, who has not been in a gym for 7 years. He can work out and he can do 30 minutes of cardio a week and he's going to see progress, because Joe Schmo is starting from a different point than Matt Frazier, one of the fittest people on the planet. Everything is relative. So the moment that you started to try to chase these absolutes, to chase these specific things in your fitness journey, that's where things go awry, because it's going to be different for every single person. So depending on your starting point, that will dictate how often and how long you should be working out for. If you're working out with a specific base of fitness, Matt Frazier has a very high base of fitness. He can go into a gym and he can probably run on a treadmill for a very long time without ever really getting tired. He needs to progress further and further on top of that in order for him to continue to make progress and for him to be able to run even longer without getting tired. It's going to be a lot different for somebody who's starting at a very different point. So everything is going to be relative. As Obi-Wan Kenobi says, only the Sith deal in absolutes.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes.
So the moment somebody tries to make an absolute statement about fitness, like this Newsweek article does, and I'm not quick to, part of me is quick to condemn somebody. I don't know if condemn's the right word, because maybe the things that they say are misguided, but I don't think it's malicious by any intent. I don't think Newsweek is particularly trying to get over on you. They're just trying to make an article for you to click on, right? There are definitely going to be people out there that intentionally mislead you so that they can sell you something. But otherwise, I think it's just a little bit misguided, right? People are searching for answers where there are no answers. So I think depending on your particular circumstances, depending on your particular starting point, that'll dictate how many days per week it is good for you to work out and how many hours or how much time you should be spending in each workout program. So if you're a very busy person, you might only work out once or twice a week. It might only be 30 minutes, and that's okay. You can work on building up within that. If you're a person who has a lot more leeway in their schedule, you can work out maybe 4 days a week, maybe 30, 45 minutes a pop, it's going to be a lot different, right? Everybody's circumstances are completely different. And to that one consultant in this article, he says you should be really good about your diet for 6 days of the week, and then on your 7th day, you still shouldn't binge. I don't think binging is anything that really anybody should do. But it sounds like he's got the bolts on very tight. Like, he sounds like he wants you to be very, very strict with your diet, which is, very old school mentality. I think if you can be better with your diet more so than not, then you're going to make progress, but still enjoy your life. We are only here for a short period of time. Do not spend all your time and all your effort trying to have a six-pack because it's overrated. Eat the donuts, eat the ice cream in moderation. Eat the cookies in moderation. Eat the pizza in moderation. As long as you're doing more good than not good, then you'll be okay. Hopefully you enjoyed today's podcast episode of the Fitness Hippie Podcast. If you did, consider hitting the subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all 7 of you. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at MTEFit. Make sure you follow me on TikTok at MTEFit. If you are interested in getting your first push-up or getting really good at push-ups, check out the MTEFit push-up program on mtefit.com. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.